This is a request from Chinmaya Mission member in Toronto. Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
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 Sita Vallabha Hanumat Sevita,
Sita Vallabha Hanumat Sevita,
Sita Vallabha Hanumat Sevita,
Sita Vallabha Hanumat Sevita,
Bharat Pran Hari Priya Raghuram,
Bharat Prana Hari Priya Raghuram,
Bharat Pran Hari Priya Raghuram,
Bharat Prana Hari Priya Raghuram,
Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
Dasarath Nandana Sant Jan Ranjana,
Dasarath Nandana Sant Jana Ranjana,
Dasarath Nandana Sant Jana Ranjana,
Dasarath Nandana Sant Jana Ranjana,
Maya Prerak Mukti Pradayak,
Maya Prerak Mukti Pradayak,
Maya Prerak Mukti Pradayak,
Maya Prerak Mukti Pradayak,
Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
Karunanidhan Prabhu Shri Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Siya
जय सिया राम
जय जय राम जय सिया राम
जय जय राम जय सिया राम
जय जय राम
जय सिया राम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय अथरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरम्
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मथुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे
नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं ललितं मधुरम्
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मथुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे रेणोर्मधुरो रेणोर्मधुरः पाणेर्मधुर पादौ मधुरौ
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मथुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सूक्तं मधुरम्
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मथुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
कर्णं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं कर्णं मधुरं रमणं मधुरम्
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोविन्द हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
मुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं युक्तं मधुरम्
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा श्रेष्ठिर्मधुरा
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे
दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे नंदलाल हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। वर्णानामर्थ संघानां रसानां छन्दसामपि मंगलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायकौ भवानी शंकरौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम् नानापुराणनिगमागमसम्मतं यद् रामायणे निगदितं क्वचिदन्यतोऽपि स्वान्तसुखाय तुलसीरघुनाथ गाथा भाषानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति भाषानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम्। Okay, if you're joining us tonight for the first time, we are seeing Gita in the Ramayana, and I told you that whatever principles and all precepts and philosophical teachings are given there in Bhagavad Gita, played out here very nicely in Ramayana. And last night we started seeing a very interesting katha in Narad Prasang of the Balakanda. Narad ji one day was roaming in Himalayas and he saw a very beautiful cave ashram. And on one side, mountains, because Himalayas, in front Surasari, Gangaji was flowing. And then forest is there as well. And these are the three places where you see all sadhanas taking place. All three were there. We have a very nice ashram here in Trinidad also in the mountains. And we have all three there as well. Those of you who have been to ashram, Tapovan ashram here in Trinidad, you would have seen that. River, mountain, forest, everything is there. Anyway, Naraji saw a cave on the side of the mountain there, and it was a beautiful ashram. And he entered and he sat there and went into samadhi, reveling in the feet of Ramapati, Bhagavan Vishnu. And Indradev became scared when he saw this. You see, Indradev is in Swarga and he can see which is going on in Himalayas. He says Sahasanayana, he is called in the same Balkan. Sahasanayana, Guru Vasishta, our Brihaspati Guru calls him Sahasanayana. In Ayodhya Kand. Sahasanayana means he has 1,000 eyes. He can see whatever is going on everywhere. But this fellow has no eye to see what is going on inside, you see. He see everything everywhere but cannot see inside. He could not see in the mind of Narad. He thought immediately Narad ji is doing tapas to take his throne. Narad becomes powerful through this tapas. He will take his throne. This is his fear. And he sent Kamadev to disturb that tapas of Narad ji. Well, we saw Kamadev failed. And becoming scared, Kamadev fell on the feet of Narad ji and begged pardon. Narad ji said, no problem. Very calmly. Samabuddhi me. In Samabuddhi, he told, no, you go and tell your Indradev. I am really not interested in his throne and all that. And don't worry, I'm okay. Tulsidaji, not one iota of anger came to Narad ji. So, Narad ji conquered Kam, Krodh, Lobh all in one shot. Well, we saw that the human psyche, Narad ji is playing the role of the human psyche there. Human being's mind, how it works. Chanchalam, Himana, Krishna, Pramati, Bala, Vajraram. One moment from Samadhi. Next moment, from the sublime to the ridiculous. Have you heard? Immediately, the news went around that Narad ji conquered Kam, Krodh, Lobha, and even Lord Shiva could not do that. But if Lord Shiva does not know this, then this is a way of no use. So Narad ji quickly, zoom, went to Shiva Lok, Kailash, and he told to Bhagwan Shiva, blurted out, I conquered Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Ityadi, all Kama story he told. Well, Lord Shiva said, well, my dear Narad, you should not tell this story in the way in which you told it to me. You should not tell to Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva knew that he's a Vishnu Bhakta. So, he should go to Bhagwan Vishnu and Bhagwan Vishnu should resolve this matter. So, Bhagwan Shiva did not resolve that himself. He said, you should not tell this to Lord Vishnu. Knowing fully well that Narad ji will go straight to Lord Vishnu. Because all the time he's going, Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. You know that, Narad ji. Narad ji is Ishtadev. So he goes there. After some time, goes to Kshir Sagar. And Bhagwan Narayan is talking some other topic. Narad ji comes in between and tells us whole charita. How I conquered Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Ityadi. Only thing he did not tell, is, Lord Shiva did not want me to tell you this. Human being is such, he will tell that also. But Naraji had some bit of reservation. So he did not tell that thing. So anyway, Lord Vishnu immediately realized that the seed of Abhiman has sprouted in the heart of Narada. That seed of Abhiman just sprouted, it will grow into a huge tree. So I better cut it down right now. And I told you this is related to something very, very nice in the Bhagavad Gita. And I gave you a hint also. And I hope that you went there and you checked it out, and you found out what it is related to. It related to two very famous verses of the 9th chapter. Now I will, and actually one of the verse is there in 4th chapter also. This is in 9th chapter, 4th chapter verse. Half of the verse is relevant in it. Bhagavan repeats this thing 2 times. 4th chapter, 9th chapter. Api chedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrittamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijanam samtarishyasi, in 4th chapter. But this is where, in 4th chapter, where all other things are going on. Here in the 9th chapter, from 7 to 12, where Bhakti Marg is presented, in this 9th chapter, which falls smack in the middle of this section, is 2 famous verses are there. Now this will be number 30, 31 of the 9th chapter. See this now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Api chet suduracharah bhajate mamananya bha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Sadhureva samantavyah samyak vyavasito isaha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachandim nigacchati.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
apichet suduracharaha. If this person is, see, achara in Sanskrit means not pickle. Achara means conduct, behavior. Conduct or behavior. Achara. Lifestyle. All this achara, right? So, durachara means dur. Dur is always negative in Sanskrit. Dur. Duryodhan. See? Do and dur, like that. Duryodhan, Dusasan, like that. And the opposite is su. Do and su. So achar means conduct. Here, durachar. Durachar means bad conduct. Then here, sudurachar. So I told you just now, su is opposite. But here, since the su is coming in front of do, the su, like I tell you in English, I don't know in English what will be there. In Trinidad language, we have it very nicely. And good bad. Good bad. Good bad means very bad. In English, any equivalent is there like that? Extremely bad. So this fellow, his achara is do, means it is evil. Then sudurachara means extremely evil. Like that. Apichet. Even if that person, the summation of that person may be the greatest sinner. Papi. Fir bhajate mamananya bhak. But he worships me, turns to me. Turns to me. With single pointed devotion. Then sadhureva samantavyaha. Samyak vyavasito hisaha. That person immediately is considered sadhu. Only when he has taken the resolution to do that. He hasn't done anything yet. Samyak vyavasito hisaha. He has only taken a firm resolution. Immediately is called a sadhu. And the next line says, in the next verse, Khipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati. Quickly, he becomes dharmatma, dharmavan, purusha. Like Yudhishthir. Shashvachantim nigacchati. And quickly, he goes to a state of peace. That person. Quickly. What right resolve is required. And the last line, very famous line, which you will see quoted many places. Then some of our logo also. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Oh Kaunteya, you let the world know that my devotee never perishes. My devotee will always be saved. Never perishes. Name bhakta pranashyati. It never perishes. This is what is being demonstrated now in this Narada Prasanga, which we are going to complete tonight. Now, Kaunteya, let the world know. Let all know. Name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee never perishes. Harm never comes to my devotee. Now, I'll just go back a little bit and tie in a few things which have been said in the last few days. I know you would have forgotten much, but that is okay. I am here to tell you again. No problem. So, on one of the previous days, I was telling that if you really do a survey of the two epics, here Ramayana and then Mahabharata, in which Gita is cast, right? In the midst of that Mahabharata. Battle is about to take place. On the battlefield, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is giving Upadesh to Arjuna, which is Bhagavad Gita. Okay, that you know. That Yuddha, that war which is taking place there, I told that was a war of Lobha. See, Kam, Krodha, Lobha. This featured very much in our lectures the last few days. Kam, Krodha, Lobha, isn't it? So, basically, that was a war on Lobha because Duryodhana had coveted the kingdom of other people and all that story you know. Lobha, greed for land and kingdom and khazana, ityadi. And here in the Ramayana, it was a battle based on what? Kama. Ravana, who kidnapped the wife of Bhagwan Rama. Kama. Lust. Like that. So, this Ramayana battle is happening because Ravan had actually fostered great karma in his heart, and that karma broke the bounds of propriety, and karma broke the bounds of what society has laid down and all that, all conventions and all law and rule and everything. You see, like a river breaking its bank. If a river stays in its bank, it is a blessing to all. But once the river breaks its banks, well, it becomes a curse to all. So Ravan's karma was like that. It did not stay within its limits, its boundaries. It broke its boundaries, and Ravan's karma led to this great Ravan Yuddha, a Yuddha of war which the world has not yet seen. A war of such magnitude which the world has never seen. So, this war is based on karma. Now see, it means what? Ravan was totally consumed by karma. Now you just look carefully. Now we are studying Narad Prasanga. Narad has just conquered Kama, Krodha, Lobha. All three of them. But then what happened? Narad goes boasting to Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva tells, don't go to Lord Vishnu and tell this thing like this. And Narad goes straight to Kshir Sagar there, and he brings up the topic himself and he tells. So he has conquered Kam, Krodha, Lobha. Ravan is conquered by Kama. Krodha also, everything. Lobha, Ravan is conquered by all three of them. Lobha means he took all the gold from everywhere and he put the gold on the pavement of Lanka. Lobha, greed. And Krodha, Ravan's anger, and Kama now. So Ravan is conquered by all three. Narad conquers all three. Okay? So far clear? Now see. Still we have to come back and tie that to Bhagavad Gita. See now Narad's. We'll pick up from where we left yesterday. After 1:30. 1:30? No, not 1:30. 1:29. After 1:29. And this is what I was telling. Narad now left Vaikunt and he is going. Tulsidashi does not tell where he is going. He took the Shripati Nijamaya Tapreri. Tab Narad Hari Padasir Nai Chale Hriday Ahamiti Adhikai. Very interesting. I told you, don't read any line of Tulsidaji without thinking about that line. No line. He would have written that line for some reason. Narad took permission from Bhagwan Vishnu and is going. How? Then he says, Chale Hridaya Ahamiti Adhikai. And his heart was bubbling with Abhiman when he left. Right? Great pride. Well, person whose heart is like that, really speaking, you can't tell where he'll go. That is the idea. Means wherever that heart now will take him, where he can again tell this one or tell that one what he had done, he'll go. So Tulsidaji also does not tell where he has gone, where he is going. But as he is going now, he sees this huge city big, huge city on the way. Shripati Nijamaya, the Lord, of course, now cast his Maya, and Narad started seeing this huge city on the way. Satajo Jana Vistar, 700 miles big, like that, so big. Basahi Nagar Sundar Nara Nari. This is after 129. Huh? Janubahu Manasya Rati Anu Thari. The people of this city was so beautiful. It is as though Kamadev and his wife Rati, who was said to be the second most beautiful couple in the world, after Bhagwan, of course. Kamadev and his wife Rati, they had taken incarnation as all of these people. The people in that city were so beautiful. Teipura Basai Silanithi Raja. And that city, the king was, his Raja was Shilanidhi, in Avadi Silanidhi. Aganita Haya Gaya Sena Samaj. And he had a huge, limitless army with horses and elephants and all such things. Satasures Sama Bibhava Bilasa. And his glory and beauty and grandeur of that king was such that it was like 100 Indras put together. Rupa Teja Bala Niti Nibasa. He was a very storehouse of beauty and power and resplendence and great Dharmavan, like that. This Shila Nidhi. And now the story starts. Vishwamohini Tasukumari. And his daughter's name was Vishwamohini. Vishwamohini means who deludes the entire cosmos. Shri Vimoha Jisu Rupa Nihari. Her beauty surpassed that of Shri also, Lakshmi. Soi Hari Maya Sab Guna Khani Sobha Tasu Ki Jai Bakhani. Who could describe the beauty of that princess who was fashioned by Hari himself? Karai Swayamvar Sondripa Bala Ai Taha Aganita Mahipala. And it so happened, now Bhagwan Maya is at work, Narad is just passing. Huge city, 700 miles big, beautiful people, a king that surpasses Indra, and his most beautiful daughter who could delude the whole world. And at that same time, her Swayamvar is going on. Swayamvar means how Bhagwan put everything together in a second. So, Swayamvar means now that is the day when she will choose her suitable groom. And she has to take a mala and put on his neck. So all the kings and princes from everywhere had come there. All gathered. Naradji thought, oh, interesting. He looked around and all, asked people. He said, well, I am Devarishi Narad, I better go inside. So he went inside there and met the king. And the king welcomed him. Oh, Naradji, please come quickly. They put Naradji to sit down and washed his feet and everything, and then gave him all the respect that is due to such a personality of such grandeur, such status, like that. So, then that king said, oh, Naradji, I want you to do something. Now this is 1:30. आनि देखाए नारद ही भूपति राजकुमार राम भूप कुमार कहु नाथ गुण दोष सब एहि के हृदय विचार सिया वर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम। आनि दिखाई नारद ही भूपति राजकुमारी, कहु नाथ गुण दोष सब एहि के हृदय विचारी। My dear Narad, I am going to bring that princess now. I want you to look at her and you tell her fortune. This is all a scientific thing also. People can read hands. You know that. People can read feet. Yeah. People can read under your feet lines also. And there are people who can read your face. So the king sent the attendants and they brought that Rajkumari princess there and put her to sit in front of Narad. And the king asked Naradji to please tell her fortune. Kahahu nath guna dosha sava. Tell everything about her. Guna and dosha means all good things that will come to her and all bad things that will come to her also. You tell. Now, from the next line, very serious thing. See that, eh? देखी रूप मुनि बिरति बिसारी,
जय जय राम।
बड़ी बार लगी रहे निहारी,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
लक्षण तासु लोक भुलाने,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
हृदय हर्ष नहीं प्रगट बखाने,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
ही बरए अमर सोई होई,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
समर भूमि ते ही जीत न कोई,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
से वही सकल चराचर ताही,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
बरईसील निधि कन्या जाही,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय
जय राम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। Please see the words. देखी रूप मुनि बिरति बिसारी, देखी रूप. Narad saw her form, her beauty. Roop means beauty. Narad saw her beauty. And then what happened? Muni birati bisari. This is quarter of a chaupai. Eh? Dekhi roop muni birati bisari. And all his vairagya, all the vairagya of the muni evaporated. This is the saddest quarter of a chaupai in Ramayana. All the vairagya of the muni evaporated. How? Seeing the beauty of the princess. Bari baar lagi rahe nihari. And his eyes became transfixed on that princess for a long time. So if the Vairagya has gone, Kama has come. And so his eyes could not move from there. Then, Lachanatasu biloki bulane, Hridaya harasha nahi pragata bakhane. He forgot about her lakshana, this quality and that quality and all such things. And the joy in his heart welled up, but he did not show it to anybody. Jo ehi barai amar soi hoi. Whoever marries this princess will become immortal. Samara bhumi tehi jeeta na koi. And on the battlefield, he will be unconquerable. Whoever marries this princess. And Sevahi sakala charachara tahi. The whole world, living and non-living things, will serve that person. Bharai Sheelanidhi kanya jahi. Whoever marries this daughter of Sheelanidhi. So, Naradji's Vairagya went away. Then, he's seeing all the benefits that will come to the one who marries this princess. Lachana Saba Bichari Urarakhe. All her great qualities and all things he did not tell to that king. He kept inside his heart. Kachuka Banai Bhupasana Bhashe. And he made up some story and told that king. Because the king had asked, tell her, Lakshana, fortune, all such things. Good fortune, bad fortune, whatever. But he made up something and told. He did not tell anything which he saw, which he knew about that princess. Suta Sulachana Kahindra Papahi Narada Chale Sochamana Mahi. He said to that king, she has good lakshanas. And that's all. And he went away from there. But Sochamana Mahi. And his mind was very, very now disturbed. Karau jai so jatana bichari jehi prakar mohi bare kumari. Now he started thinking, how I can get to marry this princess. Today is a Swayamvar, How I can get, see Kama, how I can get to marry this princess. And then he's seen there's so many lakshanas of the princess, but the ones that are really related to Lobha. Lobha means she is the one who will be the wife of the greatest king in the universe. Like that. The whole universe will serve him. She will be the wife of that one. So I will be that one if I marry her. So there's a Lobh, all the material possessions that will come. And so Kam already came back. Lobh came back. Only thing left to come now is Krodh. Kam, Krodh, Lobh. So then what? He came up with a plan. Now I have to tell quickly because time is gone. He came up with a plan. What is that? With my face, that princess will not choose me because she is the most beautiful being in the world. And look at me. So with my face, she will not put that mala on my neck. So what I have to do, I have to go now quickly to Bhagwan Vishnu and I have to ask him for beauty, good looks. And he thought, no, Bhagwan Vishnu is in Vaikuntha, I have to go back there. That will take too much time. By that time, she'll already put the mala on somebody, she would have put the mala on somebody's neck. Now, being a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, he prayed so hard to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu appeared there. And the Lord came, Naradji told. He did not tell, what did he say? Saf. Plainly. He did not want to tell plainly, Prabhu, I am enamored by that princess and I want to marry that princess. That is what is going on, but he doesn't want to tell. Harisana Mago Sundratai, Hoi Tat Gaharu Ati Bhai More Hit Hari Sama Nahi Ko Ehi Avasar Sahai Soi Do Ho. Means to say, Prabhu, on this occasion, now you do that which is going to benefit me. Well, those words are ambiguous. In his mind, he had, I want to get a face which is the most beautiful face in the world, so that this princess will put this mala on me. So Bhagavan said also very nicely, yes, I will certainly do that which is in your good, which is in your welfare. I will do that which is going to benefit you only. And Bhagwan went on telling a whole, but Narad did not read any of Bhagwan's words like that. He thought, yeah, Bhagwan will give me nice, and Bhagwan will give me beauty. In the other Ramayana and all, it's written there, Bhagwan said, Narad said, I want the face of Hari. Hari. Or one of the meaning of Hari is monkey. Anyway, when all of this was going on, Lord Shiva sent two of his dutas. He told, you all go there and follow this Narad and see where he is going and who he is telling this whole story. Shiva dutas. And the Shiva dutas, they came there now and they were sitting. Bhagwan said, yes, Narad, tathastu, I will do what is in your good, for your good benefit, whatever is in your good for you. So now they all came, and Narad came and sat there. All the kings are lined up, princes lined up there, and that princess is coming there with that mala. And Narad thinks now he has the most beautiful face in the world. And so when that princess is walking down, he's already sticking his neck out because he thought that she will put that mala on my neck. And when she came there, she looked at this Narad and said, "Chee, this ugly fellow." And she went away, and way down at the end of the line, there was one prince there. She put that mala on his neck. And Narad became so heartbroken. At the back of him, this Shiva Duta, they were sitting there, and they were laughing like anything. What happened actually is, Bhagwan gave Narad the face of a monkey. But that face of the monkey could be seen only by the princess and the Shiva Dutas. They knew. Everybody else saw Narad only. But the princess saw monkey face. And when she came there, Narad thought maybe she did not see well, so he put his head further ahead like that. She went away like that. Then the Shiva Duta said, go and look at your face in the mirror. So he went, there was a pond there. He looked in the water and he saw monkey face. He could also see. And he got so angry. First he gave sharp to those two Shiva Dutas. That both of you will become Rakshasa. They both were born as Ravan Kumbhakaran in one lifetime. These two Shiva Dutas. Then he rushed there along the path. He saw now Bhagwan Vishnu going there with his Lakshmi on one side and his Rajkumari on the other side. Vishwa Mohini. Bhagwan Vishnu is going to two of them now. And Narad got angry. He said, today I will die or I will give him sharp. So angry he got. He said, today I either die or I give sharp to this Bhagwan. And he gave sharp to this Bhagwan. Just as you have made a monkey out of me, you will need monkeys to help you to find your wife. She will be taken away from you and you will be crying like an ordinary person in the forest. It was sharp he gave. Naradji. So the anger, the crowd, they became so intense that the Bhakta, who prior to that was such a great devotee of Bhagwan Vishnu, he became so angry with that Lord also that he gave sharp to that Bhagwan. And then Bhagwan pulled away his Maya. When Bhagwan pulled away his Maya, Narad realized all what things had happened and what he did, and he gave sharp to Bhagwan. He was beside himself with remorse. I gave sharp to the Lord. Already gone. Once it is given, it is given. But my dear, this is exactly what is going on. See, Ravan became overwhelmed by Kama, Krodha, Lobha. And Ravan was killed in Ramayana. Narad became overwhelmed by Kama, Krodha, Lobha. And Narad was saved in Ramayana. Because, Name Bhakta Prashyati, my devotee never perishes. The one who chooses Bhagwan. Artho jignasu arthati jnanicha. Whichever one of them. Narad came to Bhagwan as Artha, facing the pangs of delusion, and asked Bhagwan to help him. And Bhagwan, when he helps, Bhagwan's help is Bhagwan's help, because he knows what is best for us. But my devotee never perishes. Both of them overcome by Kam, Krodh, Lobh. But one is removed and the other one is saved. Therefore, the verses of Bhagavad Gita, he may have done the greatest papa. Apichet suduracharaha. Give sharp to Bhagwan also. Who will give? But name bhakta pranashyati. Two verses coming together. This is the whatever is told in the Bhagavad Gita. Name bhakta pranashyati. Apichet suduracharaha. Sadhureva samantavyaha. He will be considered a sadhu. He is my devotee, and I will protect him. That thing is being demonstrated very clearly. If he is not a devotee of the Lord, he will be removed. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashayacha dushkritam. And this is very clearly demonstrated in these two characters. And see how many, I told you now, whatever is written there is just told. But whatever is shown here is demonstrated. All right. Now I just had to quickly conclude that whole thing, because the last half an hour is for question and answers, And now half an hour is left. So now we can have some Q&A. And I'll see if I can hear what you all are saying there and try to answer those questions. Okay.
If you have a question, you can just raise your hand and we'll unmute you. Or you can type it in the chat. Sanji, someone emailed a question.
Yes, tell.
Okay. Thank you. Swamiji, you touched on Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. I seek elaboration on Kama for the average working person. If I understood correctly, Kama has to be controlled or confined like a river to its banks, otherwise flooding or damage would take place. Regular people are driven by desire, Kama, to achieve great things in career, etc. Could you please elaborate on this topic so our understanding is clarified?
Yes.
This is from Chris, Swamiji.
So, in the world, this karma, we said, when it becomes personal, like in Ravana's case, right? The example we were using was Ravana. It is like the river is breaking its banks, and people who do that, they find themselves in trouble. If our karma, our desire, has to go beyond what is required for our own existence, it should always have behind it the welfare and benefit of society. Loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi, Bhagavan tells to Arjuna in the 3rd chapter. Look towards the benefit of the world, and that time you can entertain as much karma as you want. The desire should be to get this or get that, but it should be for the benefit of the world, benefit of others. And others do not mean our own family members. That is me only. In benefit of humanity. That is the idea. So if karma if ever we want our karma to flood its banks, it should be for the benefit of the world. Okay. All right.
Sanji, the next question. How can a bhakta give a shrav to Bhagavan?
Because in Ramayana, it's a very interesting thing. In Ramayana, throughout the Ramayana, we have seen in the case of Maricha, we have seen also in the case of Bali and so many devotees, that when a person really surrenders, abasahi bhagati basakari, he who is unconquerable becomes conquered by bhakti. This is the line in the Marriage Katha which we saw, right? So, when a person has devotion for the Lord, that person develops a power to even bring the Lord under his control. That's why Narada was sitting there and he thought it's going to take too long for him to go to Vaikuntha. He summoned Bhagwan there. That is the power of that devotee. Bhagwan came. But that power, when it is now conditioned by moha, that power when it is guided by moha, can be misused. And this is what happened to Narad there. Then Bhagwan pulled the moha in the end. So the devotee, see, look here. If a person has a lot of resources, right, and he uses his resources to become a very expert person in martial arts, karate, let us say, then that person loses all his resources. He has nothing left. His martial art will go away or what? No. He will still have that thing. So this is the power that a person acquires through devotion stays with that person. And when it is guided by moha, delusion, then he can do any bad thing with that. That is the idea.
Sanji, next question. What is Nirguna Brahman and what is its relationship with Atma?
Nirguna Brahman is the absolute unconditioned reality, and the Atma is the same absolute unconditioned reality associated with a particular jiva. It is like, suppose this room here is filled with water. Okay. Then I bring this pot and I keep it here in this room. Now remember, all this is water. And then I bring the pot. Now there will be water inside the pot and there will be water outside the pot. Before the pot was there is just water. Right? Now I bring the pot here. There is water inside, outside, everywhere around. Now, this pot is conditioning the water inside. The pot is a condition around that water. Now the water inside and outside is same. But now something else has come and it is conditioning that water. So we say the water which is in the pot. But really, if you take away the pot, it's the same water. It is not going anywhere. Right? If you bring the pot, it conditions that amount of water. In the same way, this BMI conditions the absolute. The body, mind, intellect conditions the absolute, but that body, mind and intellect conditioning the absolute doesn't do anything to the absolute. Like the bringing the pot here, conditioning the water, still it is H2O. It doesn't change. So the Nirguna Parabrahma, absolute Brahma, is the absolute reality, unconditioned, and the Atma is that same reality, but now only conditioned by body, mind and intellect. But its nature doesn't change. Making water go into the pot doesn't change it into ozone or something. It still remains H2O only. The absolute being conditioned by this body, mind, intellect still is the absolute. Okay.
Swamiji, how did Narada get the opportunity to become such a great bhakta of Bhagavan? Is he part of Vishnu?
Narada is the mind-born son of Brahmaji. Brahmaji has many sons. He just thinks, I should have a son, and a son is born. Such a great being he is. So he's a Manasa Putra. And he just, like that, emanated from Brahmaji. And Brahmaji, of course, being his father, would have, wherever we are born, you know that, we are exposed to things to which our family exposes us, isn't it? So Naradji was exposed to Bhagwan Vishnu because of his father and became a great devotee of Bhagwan Vishnu. Like that. Okay.
So one can be a great devotee and still have kama, krodha and lobha?
Yes.
That is to tell, and these type of stories are there in the Ramayana and everywhere. Because in Bhagavad Gita also Bhagwan says, even a great soul also. You see in Mahabharata, great Drona, Bhishma and Ityadi, they were fighting on the other side. You know that, na? So, even great souls have to be very careful about allowing Kam, Krodha, Lobh, which of course all born from Moha. One disciple, the disciples used to, or a disciple used to ask his Guru, Guruji, have you conquered Kam, Krodha, Lobh? That Guruji never used to answer. And again he used to ask, have you conquered? He never used to answer like that. And then on the last day when that Guru was about to die, he called that disciple and he said, I have conquered Kam, Krodha, Lobh, and then he died. In other words, the story is there to tell that even till the last breath, we don't know, because I am still living in the midst of Prakriti, and these are all creations of Prakriti. It means to say, Prakriti is Maya, which causes Moha, and then from that Moha, all things. Yep.
Since likes and dislikes arise from vasanas, and realization renders vasanas inert, why would a Jivan Mukta still like paneer, for example, after realization?
Because
Shouldn't all likes disappear?
no.
The question has some fallacies in it. You see? Read the beginning of the question again, and I'll tell you.
Since likes and dislikes arise from vasanas, and realization renders vasanas inert, why would a Jivan Mukta still like paneer after realization?
Yes.
So you see, realization renders vasanas inert. That is not true. That fallacy is there in the question itself. So there is a misunderstanding. See, if I am seeing a snake on a rope, okay, and somebody comes and tells me that it is not a snake, it is a rope, you please do some further investigation. Okay. First of all, if it is my Guru, immediately I will believe him, isn't it? I will not have to do any investigation also. Even my Guru, I will believe him immediately. Or Ishta Devta. I will believe immediately. And if I believe really, if I have that Shraddha, then I will not be afraid, because they told me, no, it is not a snake, it is a rope. Of course, later on, if I do my own investigation and all of that sort of thing, then the snake will disappear, right? But in the first stage, what is being demonstrated is we need not get rid of an illusion. We only have to get rid of a delusion. Now, what is the difference between these two? Please say this. Suppose you are seeing down the road there, when you're driving, especially in Canada and the States, I see it more than I see it here in Trinidad because of the weather patterns. Weather is a little bit different there. When you're driving down the highway, you see water down in front of you. Correct? So after you do that once or twice or three times, then you realize, really there's no water there, because when I get there is nothing. So the next time you drive on the highway and you see that, you're seeing it is not going away also, but you know that there is no water. So the idea is, the illusion has not gone because I am still seeing it. But the delusion has gone. Means the wrong thinking or wrong understanding that there is water there. That has gone away. By proper praman and all of that. Right? So this is exactly what happens in all the cases whether it's snake and rope or whether now it is an illusion of a mirage on the highway. What happens in realization is delusion goes, illusions remain. So in the question, this fallacy is there that mukti or realization will render all vasanas inert. That it means to say, when you say that, you just have to understand it in this way. The sage or the saint will understand that whatever he is seeing in front of him is a mere illusion. The illusion does not go, but his understanding is now changed. Oh, it is all a mere illusion. So if the sage likes paneer, the like is an illusion and the paneer also is an illusion. Both. He knows both. In our case, the paneer is real and the like is real. That is the difference. Okay.
Did Narada acquire sin due to cursing Lord Narayana?
No.
How did he get rid of this big sin?
How what? Sorry?
How did he get rid of this big sin?
There's always a sin for doing anything which is not... see, look here. Narada comes birth after birth after birth, right? If you see the Puranas, you would see that he has taken many, many births. In one of his births, he was the son of a prostitute. In one birth, he was son of Brahmaji. And like this, many births he has taken, this Naradji. So whenever he goes to that birth, whatever great pap he has committed in this birth, then he will go through in that birth. So you just have to go through the Puranas and you see how many births he has taken and how many papas he had to suffer. The results of papas. Like all of us. And also we should not just think about Narada. The story is really for us to think about ourselves. Okay.
How does Yajna or an attempt at it purify the mind? What is the mechanics of it?
Oh, it's a very easy thing. See, quite often we all engage or we do engage in ourselves in things because the mind doesn't recognize things fast enough. And the mind cannot see all the outcomes of things. I'll just give you a simple example. So I am rushing to do what I have to do, right? So the mind cannot tell all the possible things that can happen when I rush. Or the desire for the thing which I am rushing for, that desire is so strong, it blinds the mind. And so the mind rushes headlong and then it means to say, it takes the whole body with and everything with it, and then gets itself in trouble, falls, breaks his leg, so many things happen. Okay. But the desire was so overwhelming, and the mind became blinded and ran. So now, in meditation, when I make the mind quiet, I bring that mind to a state of quietude, we are able to see very, very clearly all the various possibilities that can happen. And in other words, it gives the mind a breather to think logically, connect things. Then memory increases also. Such and such thing happened in the past. It is quite possible to happen now. Or the scripture says like such and such, that thing can happen. So I better change my behavior or take my time or do so. In meditation, the mind develops this type of capability. It means ordinary meditation. Of course, meditation in our scriptures is something else where I go beyond all thoughts of the mind also. But we are talking about what people do on a daily basis. That is, we sit down and we quieten the mind. That is all to improve the capabilities of the mind to see things, to analyze better, to connect things better, and so give the mind an opportunity to change itself. Okay, I better slow down. I better pay more attention. I better be with what I am doing. All of those type of things, and that will bring a lot of that will save the person from a lot of sorrow. Okay. Yes.
Narada Muni appears in so many stories and fables. Within these stories, is Narada Muni meant to represent something within us? If so, what would that be?
Narad is there to represent the jiva who has devotion for Bhagwan, but also at the same time gets himself in trouble. And that is very much akin to what we saw in the Maricha Katha, where Maricha represents the chanchal mind. And you can see from the sharp Narad has gotten also, he cannot sit quietly. He has to keep going. That chanchal mind which is all the time moving.
How are Prarabdha and Pramada related?
Tell again.
How are Prarabdha and Pramada related?
Well, pramada is inadvertence. First, let us start with the defining both of them. Pramada is inadvertence. It means to say, I, as though naturally slip into doing something which is a mistake. This is called pramada. I naturally slip into doing something which I should not have done. That is related to prarabdha, because prarabdha is the karmas which I am going through because of past births, right? Results of karmas which I am going through because of past births. So if I was not vigilant in my past life, I was not aware, cognizant of what is going on around me, and I did not make an attempt to become vigilant, to become more aware, to become more present, to be in the present. If I did not practice all of these things, then the result is I will naturally slip into doing things which are not proper, or which are wrong, or which are undesirable, and all such things. So it is because of past births I did not practice these things of being aware and cognizant and all of these things. That has led to this prarabdha, that now I will naturally slip into things. If you want to make a connection, this is how it will be. Okay. In other words, all of us are supposed to be very, very aware and be in the present moment. Okay.
The last question, Swamiji. Can you please elaborate on difference of Sthula, Sukshma and Karana Sharira?
Oh wow, your question outside Ramayana Gita. Karana Sharira, very interesting. See here, whatever you can see, that is called as Sthula Sharir. Whatever is visible to the eyes, it is called as Sthula Sharir. Now see, I lifted this hand like this, right? Well, you know from your ordinary studies in school and all that sort of thing, and from our scriptures what we teach, first I had to have a desire to lift this hand. If there is no desire, I cannot lift this hand. This hand will only be lifted without a desire if I am sleeping. Like, you know, when people sleep, they kick others also. If there is anybody who's sleeping there. So there is no desire, just some reflex action is there, right? But once I am awake, this body is moved only by desire. I have to have a desire, and then I put my hands like this, because I'm trying to demonstrate something. My desire is to demonstrate something to you. So the desire is not the body. The body is what you see. The desire is something in the subtle body. So this is called Sthula body, and then there is Sukshma body, subtle body. Sthula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir. So that desire is in the subtler body. But then there's Karana Sharir. Why my desires are different from your desires? You think. We go to buy a watch. I see this watch and I love it. I want this watch. And you say, yuck. Even if I am dead, I don't want to wear that thing. Correct? There has to be a cause for that. And that cause is all the actions and thoughts and all the things which we have done in so many countless, how many lifetimes? Countless lifetimes. All of the practices and thinking and behavior and all things which we have done in previous lives, each person has fostered a certain amount of sattva, rajas and tamas with regard to everything in this universe. And that is all stored up. That is all stored up in our karana sharir. Because your actions, even in this lifetime, your actions will be different than mine. Your likes and dislikes will be different than mine. Your behaviors will be different. The time you get up will be different. Whatever you eat will be different. Everything, that is all stored up in your karana sharir. And from that, a package manifests as your prarabdha karma. And that's what you're going through in this life. So where is all our karma and all our vasanas, all our impressions of all countless millions of lifetimes? Stored up in our karana sharir. Each person's karana sharir. But that is what causes me to like this color rather than another color which you like. So the like or the dislike or the desire is in the sukshma sharir in this lifetime. But the cause of that like is in the karana sharir, causal body. That's why it's called causal body. Okay. Now our time has just elapsed. We have just a few minutes to close this most wonderful yajna. I got a lot of joy from doing this yajna because my two favorite scriptures, well, no, all my scriptures are favorite scriptures. I know. Whichever I'm doing at that time, that is my favorite. So I'm now doing Ramayana and Gita, so both are my favorite. Now next week when I do something else, that will be my favorite also. So my favorite changes every week. That is good also. Anyway, it has been a joy having the company of all of you doing this Gita and Ramayana.